welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica if you haven't seen me before. This is my YouTube channel where I just like to talk about plants. A lot of the content that I do is me trying things, figuring things, learning things. I'm hoping that by taking you guys along with me, you can see somebody else do it before you try. If you have done it, I'm always open in the comments below for some tips and advice on what you guys are up to. So my kitty's mentioning about you. So if you hear some noises, I have a bird in the room and a cat in the room. So between the two of them, they are making some unnecessary noises. In today's video, I am going to be separating a Anthurium pup from the main Anthurium. So it's an Anthurium Clarinervium, which I'll show you here, and it's one of my absolute favorites. This is its newest leaf. So I've been wanting to separate it for a little while now, but this leaf had just started to grow and unfurl, so I did not want to do it until it had gotten to its full size. So it's just started hardening off, so I'm quite comfortable doing it now. But I have this little pup inside over here that's not doing too well at all. That's its first leaf that it got. So what I want to do is I want to separate it off. I want to see if it has its own root system or not. I also don't want mother plant to be using up too much of its energy trying to keep the little pup alive. I want this plant to carry on growing and looking gorgeous. So we're going to separate this off and see how it goes. I do have another baby that's starting, well, another little pup that's starting to grow on it. So I also want to take this one off so it gives it room for the other one. I know often people normally leave it to grow quite a bit bigger, but I'm just quite eager to see if it has its own root system or not. If it doesn't have its own root system yet, I haven't quite decided, but I might not take it off because I don't want to lose it. I actually either want to give it to my sister, or there's another lady who's interested in trading it for a magnificum pup that she's got, so it'll be either one of the two. I'm either going to trade it with her if it survives, or I'm going to be giving it to my sister. But I might trade it with her and then give the new one that's coming to my sister if things go to plan. Okay, so it is growing in leca, so we've got to dump all the leca out in that. But this is what I quite like about leca, is it actually gives you a little bit more opportunity to mess around. And I do know that it has some root rot at the moment, so I'm going to see how bad the root rot actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tip the leca out and then go from there. This is so beautiful. Look at that root system. This is one of my absolute favorite things about anthuriums, is these extremely delicious looking roots. And it does look like there is a tiny bit of root rot. I can't smell anything, so it's not too bad. And it's not as bad as what I thought it was. Okay, so as you can see, there is the new little one down there. Oh, I just broke a root, an aerial root that it was growing. God damn it. Okay, so the reason I'm going to be untangling most of it so that I can separate the roots from the pup and the mother, and I can see some root rot, so I do want to chop all of that off.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
And you really actually have to be careful when you're working your way through these roots, because they can snap off really easily where they join. So if I show you this little piece where it's joining over there, they can actually just snap off quite easily. And you don't want to be breaking off healthy roots for no reason. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of root rot. I knew that there was, and then I thought that it wasn't too bad. Now I'm realizing it is as bad as I thought it was, so that's annoying. I also think it might be a little bit of overwatering, keeping too much water in the reservoir. Because it's moved into the cabinet behind me, I'm still trying to sort of figure out how often it needs to be refilled, and it's also getting a lot more moisture from the air than it was before. So there's just a few factors that have changed that I obviously haven't taken into account, and it's obviously trying to tell me tell me that I'm doing something a little bit wrong, and I do think I'm potentially just giving it a little bit too much water. I've also been a little bit lazy with the cabinet. Because it's in the cabinet, I haven't actually been checking when I water to see if it needs more water in the cover pot. I have a feeling I might have been going over and putting the water level too high in the cash pot. I don't have a feeling, I think that's exactly what I've done. I've got all the leca off, and this is going to be really difficult to separate. It needs to be cut off, which I was expecting. I don't even know how to show you guys nicely, but because it's so low down, it's right in with the root system. But it does have its own roots, so I'm definitely going to be cutting it off. That was something that I wasn't 100% sure about. Sorry, I know this bird is tweeting a lot. So if you can see over here, this is the root, the new pup at the bottom. And I need to separate it off there, but as you can see, it does have its own roots. This is its own root, and this one back there is its own root. So I need to slice off over there. Do that without slicing all of the roots that are below, that are attached to the mother plant. And I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to put the camera in a way that you guys will be able to see either. Okay, so I just want to show you properly, up close and personal, what I'm going to do is there's the one leaf and there's the other leaf. As you can see, it's attached over here. So I need to chop that off from the mother without chopping this big fat root that's next to it. But at this point, if I lose a few roots, I'm also not too stressed. So yeah, that's literally the battle that I'm having, is how I'm actually going to chop that off. It's because this one is so low down, whereas if you look at this one, that one over there that started to grow, that one would actually be much easier to chop off, which I'm not going to do because I definitely wanted to grow some leaves first, as you can see over there. I've cleaned off most of the rotted roots, and I'll give it a hydrogen peroxide dip when I'm done chopping. But I don't know if you can see, there's this section growing. Oh, it's so difficult. This little piece over here, as you can see, it looks like there's one that will grow off there, right where my ring finger is. So that looks like another little one that wants to push there. And if you look, that thing grows all the way down and it's attached to this. So I'm considering chopping this off here, but it's kind of terrifying because I don't know if that will grow, and I don't know if chopping it over there will cause more damage or not. But generally, when it comes to anthuriums, they grow from this. So anyway, I'm going to chop that guy off and then decide if I'm going to chop that off. Okay, so I'm trying to show you guys, but it's really difficult with all the roots. I'm going to slice it over here and just remove it. I wanted to be able to show you guys me slicing it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that safely for me or for the plant, in order to show you guys and to remove it without chopping my finger or any very valuable roots. Okay, and he popped off absolutely beautifully. That was so easy. All I did was I sliced from underneath just slightly, applying a tiny little bit of pressure, and then he actually just popped off beautifully. So he's got a really nice little root system to start with. Very chuffed with that. Okay, and then as you can see, I've still got this guy over here who's going to be growing. There he is, you can see him better from there. This root system has obviously suffered with root rot, and I have taken quite a lot of its root system off, so I've taken this cute little guy off, as well as a large portion of the roots, in order to see if this tiny little thing will grow. For a little while now, this plant, this specific one, is probably not going to do much for me. But now the nice thing is that I know I can still put it back into the same container. I wasn't quite ready to put this into a bigger pot. The greenhouse cabinet that I have isn't huge width-wise, and I really want him to stay in there, and I just don't want to put him in a bigger pot at the moment. So at least I know that this will probably fit back in now that I have taken off a portion of the roots. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean it up a little bit, in terms of I'm going to be taking off the leftover sheaths from all the other roots, from the leaves, when the leaves are pushed out. I don't clean it vigorously, I don't get in there hectic, but I do just try to take off a little bit of the material for the purpose of potential rot. All of this sort of stuff I will just clean off. Also for bugs, giving them a few less spaces to hide. Thankfully I don't actually get too many bugs on this guy, but I don't want to speak too soon. I'm going to give it a quick hydrogen peroxide bath, just to sort of stop any rot from progressing. Like you can see over there, this whole tip here would have rotted off, but it's already calloused itself over, so there's no point. I mean, for me to cut that would be stupid, because I'm just gonna want it to do the same thing it was already doing. So yeah, sort of starting it off again and potentially asking for more rot on that. So that's, yeah, what the hydrogen peroxide sort of does. It sort of calluses things over a little bit. But because I have freshly cut this bottom piece over here, I need that to also callus over. So I'm not going to do the hydrogen peroxide bath just yet. I'm probably going to give it an hour, and then I'll do it. And then I'm going to pop it back into the pot. But I'm going to clean off all of this. I'm not going to show you that because my battery is going to die. And I'll just show you when it's clean and once it's calloused over and I've given it a bath. And I also have the leca boiling, because there was root rot, and because I've taken all the leca off, it makes sense to just rinse all the leca, boil it, and make sure it's nice and clean. Callus over. It's probably only been about 20 minutes, 15, no, a bit more than that, probably like 20, 30 minutes. So I just have this container that I'm just going to put some rainwater in. I think I'm going to need, I know you guys can't really see on the inside, but it's fine. It's literally just water filling up. It's just sort of there. And then I've got some hydrogen peroxide, and I do put quite a lot, but I don't normally measure. I'm not going to be in there for long, it's going to be a quick thing. And then I'm going to put these guys in here, and I'm going to try and keep the base of everything out. So it'll only be the tips of the roots really going in, which is what would have root rot anyway. So it doesn't all need to go in. So actually, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to leave that for long. I'm just going to put it aside, and I'm only going to leave it probably for 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, as long as it takes me to do the next thing. So what I've done is I've got these two old like food containers, and I actually love doing this. It's plants that I'm not keeping for myself, so they don't have to be in something pretty. And hey baby, shush, making lots of noise. I'm going to be putting everything in leca again, because those roots have been growing in leca, so it's kind of silly to put it in sphagnum or perlite or something else, just because they've been growing in leca and they've been growing well in leca. I like to put holes at the top so that there is some airflow, and then obviously not at the bottom, so that this can be where I put the nutrient water. And then the nice thing about this is that I can see what's going on. One, my laziness, that's great for that. I can't actually overflow it either because the water would start coming out by here. So I think that this works quite nicely, and I've done it for this one as well. So I'm going to pop in leca, and this is freshly boiled, and I'll just put to where the holes start, and I'll do it in this one as well. And the same thing, I just sort of put it to there, because then I know that the roots aren't going to go lower than that for now until they start growing their way there. And then I'm going to put them in. And this is so weird because this guy is the tiniest little potential plant growing, and he needs a really big pot. The one thing about anthurium roots is that you actually can't like shove them in and force them. They're very easily broken, so you just have to be super gentle with them when you actually are potting up. And like I said, you can't actually squish, you have to gently place them in. So what I've done, sort of there, gently placed in, and I'm going to put more leca over. This guy has obviously got a lot of the roots at the bottom before where I chopped off, and then he's got roots growing off where this new sort of little baby will be. So I don't think this will produce anything, but I am using this and its huge, nice full root system to support this. I could have just chopped this section off quite easily with how much roots it has growing from it, but the decision I made was just to chop it there. And now I'm going to put this one in, and I hope it fits into this. But I might be asking a lot. So then that's what this guy looks like. He could probably use with the trimming this off, but I'm probably just going to leave it rather and see if he'll give me a nice new leaf sometime soon. It might take just a little while. And I'm going to just put some nutrient water in, and the nice thing about this is that it has grown in leca, and these roots are very used to that, is I can give it I don't have to give it like a thin down or a low amount of nutrient water. Okay, and as you can see, I've just popped the water level up to there. Some of the roots are sitting in some of it. Okay, so that's number 2. And now the last guy. So I'm pretty happy with how this ended. As you can see, he's looking gorgeous. I have pulled these, I've taped it together just so that it doesn't touch the sides of my cabinet, and I can quite nicely see the new little one growing, so I can keep a nice eye on that. Over there. Thank you guys much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I actually had a lot of fun doing this. I wasn't expecting to take off another little piece. I'm quite excited to see how that goes. What I will do is, if you guys follow me on, well, me and my sister on Instagram, our handle is @greenfeversa. I'll put it down over here because it's got like underscores and stuff. Then I'll give you guys updates on how those babies are doing, as well as how this guy bounces back. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any tips and tricks on anthuriums in general and propagating them or separating them, then please do leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you did enjoy this video, then please do consider hitting that like button. And if you do enjoy these types of videos just in general, then please do subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I would love to have you guys on a more frequent basis. With that, I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.